I understand sometimes it could be scary to think about the other side of life that we all have to experience. But for some reason it's taboo. When we come into this world, we're taught happiness is the only thing that matters. Life is the only thing that matters. But the reality is that sadness and death also exist in the same world. So how do we make space for both of them? How do we make it okay to talk about both of them? How do we make it okay to appreciate both of them? I haven't seen anybody successfully do it yet. But if I'm gonna be honest with myself, then it's time for me to admit that I love the idea of death. I love that we all have to get out of here one day. Because if you think about it, death is the only thing that gives life true meaning, right? As a matter of fact, the other day I was reading this book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And he mentioned that death is the light by which the shadow of all of life's meaning is measured. Without death, everything would feel inconsequential. All experiences arbitrary. All metrics and values would mean zero without death, which is why it is such a very important experience that we're not only all have to have, but we should all learn to appreciate and to love and to embrace. I understand that we all have to feel pain. We all have to feel hurt. We all have to experience it to understand what joy and goodness truly feels like. And from what I understand, we spend most of our time trying to find ways to live forever in a conceptual sense. Because there's two versions of who we are. There's the physical version and there's the conceptual version. This version of how other people perceive us or how we choose to allow other people to see us. And this conceptual self is what human civilization is basically made of. Everything like governments, cities, structures, and authorities that are in place today are all immortality projects that the men and women who came before us established. They are the remnants of the conceptual selves that cease to die. People want to find ways to live forever, so we put ideas in place that could live past our own generation and impact generations after us. It's the reason why I'm so obsessed with the word legacy. The idea of being able to leave something behind bigger than yourself, so you always remember by something. Think about it. In 2022, we have a population of 8 billion human beings. But the reality is only a handful of those people will be remembered, if any. It's very hard to get your name, especially your last name, to penetrate history, hundreds and thousands of years. But names that I know will go on to hear for a long time: Epicurean, Epictetus, the Martin Luther Kings, the Jesus Christs, the Marcus Garveys, the Picassos, the Da Vincis. These are great names that we will never forget. The Tupacs, the Kobe Bryants. And it's only one way to do that. The only way to do that is to give up yourself. And you have to give yourself up physically and give yourself to a conceptual idea. The idea of who you could be if only you could accomplish X, Y, or Z. Whatever that may be for you. But how do you get there? It's almost like it's impossible to get there alive. So what you have to do is work harder than you ever imagined you could work. And pray that you leave a body of work behind that can inspire.